Alright guys, I'm gonna follow up on the sweatband. I'm gonna show you on a little bit more detailed manner how to hand sew the sweatband to the head. So I'm starting from just a loose sweatband that has already been fitted, to that hat. I showed you how to make that on a different video and how to place it in the hat. So you have doubts about that, go check it out. And okay, so here's the thing with the method I use. It's not the most efficient because I think I use a thread that is just too thick to go in and out just by hand. So like on every spot that the needle goes through, I will use this. It's like a leather piercing tool, and I will use that to make it easier for me. And so yeah, if you're using a thinner thread, you probably don't have to do this, and I would recommend that you use a thinner thread because you don't really need it to be that strong. It's not really enduring any stress. It just needs to hold the sweatband in place. You don't have to go heavy duty on the thread here. I mean, it helps, right? Like, again, not at the end of the thread to prevent it from going all the way. That what you're listening to right now, other than me talking nonsense probably, it's Kassi, Valazza, I don't know, I think it's Valazza, it's double Z. Her album, I don't remember the name of the album, but you should check it out. Here's the thing, here it is. Okay, so alright, let's see. So I made 2 holes. I went in and out on each one, then made a knot so that I can pull confidently, and I know I won't pull all the thread. It won't go all the way. And you want to keep the end of the sweatband pretty much on the edge of the head, where the crown meets the brim. And so every now and then you might have to adjust it, or you can be smart and just use a pin to keep it in place, so that way it won't fall as you're working on it. So what I'll do is I'm gonna punch a different series of holes all the way, maybe going from a quarter to half of the hat, and then go with thread all through those holes, and then just make sure everything's okay, and then I'll continue on the other half. I'm gonna move my phone here so that you get hopefully a better view. Can't see anything on there. Like I said, I'm punching the holes where the thread's gonna go through. You see how it is? It goes now. Okay, spoke too soon. Now I'm working with a thread that I had as a leftover from fitting the sweatband before, so I know it's not gonna be enough for me to go all the way, but it doesn't matter. If you can tell that you're gonna cover maybe less than half, I would recommend just throwing it away and setting up a new thread that will be enough. Okay, now I can take off the pin because it's pretty much secure in place, the sweatband. I've done like almost a quarter of the way. Yeah, like I said, if you know your thread it's not gonna be enough for at least half of the sweatband, then you might as well just throw it away and get a new one or longer one. In this case I'm gonna go until as long as it reaches, and then I'll just put up some more so that I can go all the way to the end and hopefully don't have too much left over. So I make the holes, like I space them out evenly. You don't have to do that. I mean, not like, doesn't have to be perfect that way, but you know, attention to detail is always a good thing. So the more uniform your stitches are, the better, I think. And you don't want to make them too low so that they will show. In this case, because I'm using black thread on a like grayish hat, it doesn't matter too much. It kind of blends in. But if you're using, let's say like black thread on a white hat, which you wanna just make them a little bit higher, so that if whatever decoration you're using on the outside lifts, or if it's too thin or whatever, so that it doesn't show, unless you want it to, if it's part of the design. Like sometimes I'll use colored thread, and that's like on the yellow hat, this one, yellowish. Like I went with a colored thread, which you can see. You could see it even if it was black on the outside, but you wouldn't be able to see it on the inside. But I want it to be visible. Why do you want it to be visible? Well, just because I want it to. Okay, so I'm halfway in the hat, and I'm almost out of thread. So you want to make sure that you have enough to make like a knot. So I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna secure it in place. On the outside, you don't wanna, ideally you don't wanna make knots on the inside, because there's a probability that you can maybe then feel the knot, especially if it's like on the front part of the hat. If it's in the back, you know, with the it's less likely that you will feel it. But because now I started on the back and I'm just in the center, you definitely don't want to make knots around that area. So yeah, I'm making it on the outside. The album that I mentioned from Kassi, I think it's Good Old Days. I'm not sure. That's the name. It's so good. Check her out. Kassi, Kassi, Valazza, Balazza. Valazza. Kassi Valazza. She's gorgeous also. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go. I know it's too long for just what I have left from the hat, but because I know black thread, I'll keep using it. Either way, I'm just gonna go longer. It will be used either way. Or New Orleans or from Tennessee. And yet you think about them and how they're supposed to be. Still, it's kind of funny how I fell for you out with your guitar picking fingers and your ghost and control. I guess that's what it takes to help me see it through. There you go. Later, some other time, I'll make a video on how to set the the needle thread, because it's a whole thing. Yeah, you want to make sure. I mean, I'm sure everyone has like their own way to do it. Okay, let me show you where we are so far. So I started here on the back. Dropped the needle. Started here. I've gone halfway to the front, and you pretty much can't see any of that because it's a black thread on black sweatband. And I'm using the this little stitches to measure out. Like I'm going like three in, 3 out, 3 in, 3 out, so that they're all evenly spaced. Like I said, you don't have to be that precise. It's more like a thing for me. I wanna make sure they're all the same. There you go. since we're starting again, you gotta do, the whole knot thing, so that it doesn't go anywhere we don't want it to. That's it. That's it. Now we can start again. Start again. As you can tell, I'm starting to sweat pretty heavily. Now that is not because I'm making such a hard work. It's just that it's super hot. I do have a fan there. I should probably turn it on. I can feel the sweat starting to drip on the sides. And I am wearing pretty heavy denim and boots and a hat. I'm in San Jose del Cabo, by the way, which is Los Cabos. That's why it's so hot in here. And it's also pretty humid, because if it was dry hot, I probably wouldn't be sweating this much. Come on, man. There you go. I need to start using a different technique for threading the needle, because I leave out like a knot that is, I think, a little bit too bulky, and that's what I have to use that punching tool, and then why it's sometimes it's a little hard to get it through, even though I make the holes, like, still. Like I said, you definitely don't need a thread this thick. You could go much thinner, and then also maybe make like a simpler knot, because I do like a double knot, and it ends up being too bulky. At least you can know one thing, is that sweatband, it ain't going nowhere. I'm saying, it ain't going nowhere. We're almost done. Got a couple more. Oh, starting to drape already. That's what she said. Okay, so now I made it all the way to the end. So I'm just gonna take it out where I started, where I made put it in the beginning, and then I'm gonna make a knot with that part of the thread. Again, keep it in place. and we cut it. And you wanna when you cut it, you wanna leave just like a little something, maybe like 1/4 of an inch, so that you can burn it and then melt it. And that way, it's like super low key. How do you say it? Very inconspicuous. You can't even tell it's there. Now it's perfectly sewn in. Like you can turn it inside out and fold it, and you can pull it. It's not gonna go anywhere, right? Ta-da! You can see I got a few there. Woo! It's getting hot in here. I'm gonna have to get me a beer. What time is it? Hey, 11:30 in the morning. Just about time. That's it.